if you want, it's up to you. The idea is that you can be connected here, offline and online at the same time. So, here is the agenda, the schedule of today. Basically, you are going to pitch. And actually, the judges here are going to hear your pitch, to try to understand what you mean, and finally to judge, to evaluate the project you suggested. After this, actually, judges will have a judging exercise. So we will step out and we'll go to the meeting room, deliberating and judging the projects, and then we'll come back and announce the winners, the winning teams of this edition. So before we do that, maybe, Tone, we can have just a few moments.
Now, as you might know, one of our slogans is growing together. We never meant that to be physically the growing together. We meant that intellectually, helping, sharing your skills with other people. And that's what this co-working space is about. That's what ICAP is about, is to cross-fertilize all the skills of people building with the latest technologies, that are good at marketing, that are good at building big data platforms and stuff like that, and then to get help by other tenants in this building, marketing companies, technology providers, and so on. So that's the magic of this building, and we wanted to show that Brussels really is a great place to start your startup related to big data, with all the competences here, from legal to technical, to marketers, to search engine optimizers that we have in the room, and so on. So I won't take more time here, but we really thank all these sponsors for chipping in and making it possible to afford this experience at an affordable price. So, thank you. All the sponsors. Now, the ones we really have to thank is those who have guided you through the weekend, some very actively, some when you pull their sleeves, but to any degree. Xavier Cormand, Sorina Luga, Loïc Percher, Louis-Philippe Long, Johnny Water, and Sam Lakonen, who has to fly back to Helsinki during the pitches. Take a train to London. You see, this is so international. We have a jury member flying in for this, and we have a mentor taking a train back to London. So this really is Startup Weekend, an international concept with people from all over.
So we can thank him. Thank you very much.
Thank you to all the mentors for everything you've brought in. You should all know that they do not get paid for this. They also do this from conviction. But yep. Oops, sorry, they didn't know that. They didn't know that, but these people are fantastic. We will thank them. They didn't find out. What do you mean we don't get paid? No, I'm very sorry about that. So these are the fantastic mentors. So you've been working hard. The mentors have been really trying to help you. Were they helpful? Yes, okay. So last round of applause for the mentors. Now our judges sitting here on the front row. Now, as event organizers, it's horrible, the gender balance issue. You heard about that, right? It's so hard to find men nowadays. So I urge all of you, if you have knowledgeable men in your circles, try to push them to come to these events, because we really want to address the gender issue. Yeah. So we have Yassine, we want to thank you for giving the example there. Very good to have you. Lisa Isnar, she's the directrice of the cabinet of Barbara Tracht, who come and do the opening. We have Julie Foulon, who's been doing this for, I already know her, for at least a decade of startups and hackathons and stuff like that. So she's very knowledgeable in knowing how you launch a sort of event. And Mathilde, who's a consultant and lecturer, EU funding, she can really help you if you want to go forward, how to get maybe some EU funding or some good business advice before you get the funding and so on. So without further ado, first of all, applause for the judges. Thank you, Michel.
One more thing. One more thing, I just would like to give the mic to every one of you, of the judges, because I would like to learn or to hear what are you expecting from this Startup Weekend, from the presentations. So, Julie, you want to start? What do you expect?
From this weekend?
Yes.
No, you're not going to speak to the mic, at least. So I'm Julie Poulon. I'm with my daughter, so I'm sorry for that. And she wants to speak to the mic, and I'm expecting to see great projects. And I'm very curious to see the projects about big data and application that you can you think about during this weekend. Voilà.
I think we will give the mic to the daughter because we want more young ladies to do this. Go ahead.
Tu dis bonjour? Dis bonjour.
Bonjour.
Yeah, I'm Mathilde. I'm the one that just came here rushing to see your pitches. I'm really grateful for this. I think it's impressive what you guys, so I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, to be convinced about your ideas and see a little bit about the work you have done. Congrats.
Bonsoir à tous. Moi, en tout cas, c'est mon premier Startup Week-end en tant que représentante de la ministre de la Transition économique, mais aussi la ministre de la Recherche et l'innovation. Donc nous, ce qu'on a envie de prouver pendant les 5 prochaines années, c'est de montrer que Bruxelles, sur la carte belge, ça compte. C'est une capitale innovante. Vous êtes, vous, le projet de Bruxelles de demain. Et donc en ça, merci. Et de voir comment vous arrivez à combiner Big Data, développement technologique, mais aussi impact sociétal pour la région bruxelloise.
Hello, Yasin. I'm looking forward actually to see the project you worked for the whole weekend and how you will use the fuel of the artificial intelligence or the new petrol and what you will create with it. Really looking forward to it.
Okay, so can you feel the pressure a little bit more? Okay, perfect. So, judging criteria. So you know them very well, but I'm just going to go through all of them. The validation, you know, it's all about have you done something this weekend that is about validating your idea of Friday night. So if you talk to customer, are you solving a real problem? Can you demonstrate, show us that is a real problem? And that's a good solution. Then, do you have thought about the execution in design? So are you going to show us something, a demo, a prototype, MVP, that is really something concrete? And then finally, is it something that is more like user-friendly or something that is only technical? So is it like the layout you thought about? Is it sexy? Is it something that is really attractive? Then the business model, welcome. So the business model is more, okay, but is your idea sustainable? Is your project sustainable? Is it something that is really going to generate revenues in a way that the project is sustainable? And is your value proposition really good and unique? All right, so here is the pitch order. So it should not be a surprise as this pitch order is the same as the rehearsal of today. So basically we see, okay, all the 7 startups. Just before we go through, I just would like to make sure I'm not forgetting anyone. All right, perfect. So that's good. I will ask you to remember only one simple thing. I will ask you to remember the startup who is going to pitch just before you. For instance, if I am in Perfect Fit startup, I know that I'm going just after Dataplug. So when Dataplug is going to finish their pitch, I already know that it's going to be my turn. So we can have an event running smoothly. And the idea is that you're going to be here. Basically, you pitch for 5 minutes. Judges will ask you questions for 4 minutes only. During that time, during the Q&A, I will ask the next pitchers to stand up, to come here, to disconnect the computer of the running pitch, so in the Q&A, right? To connect yours, so as soon as they finish the Q&A, you can start your pitch. Is it clear? Yep? All right. So, now you know the music. I will ask you to stand up, stay where you are, and stand up and stretch a little bit before we start.
While you're all stretching, I make a service announcement. As you see, there was a video team coming in. They'll do a live broadcast into the big TV news. They'll be filming from that corner, and they'll be doing that during the pitches. So, like, we're going to add an extra level of distraction for you, because while you're pitching, I'm doing an interview, and we'll both be talking, yeah? So that's going to be awesome. So if that doesn't work, and if one of the teams would be interrupted by that, we'll start again. But the live interview will just continue, yeah? So that's a service announcement.
Thanks, Tone. Okay, please have a seat. We're going to start, and I am welcoming the first team. Please, the first team to join me on stage. So who was the first team? I think it was like, yeah, perfect. Okay. Woo! So, a few things. So you know you're going to have 5 minutes. I will be the timekeeper. So I will stand just here. I will take this sheet. And actually, I will have my timer with me. And Nicolas, when you have 1 minute left, I will raise my hand so you can manage your time. Okay? So very easy. You see that we have sticked post-its on the ground. That's to scope a little bit your zone. We will ask you to stay in the zone so it's easier for all the camera and everything to keep the same angle. So we are connecting the computer. I just have a few questions. How many of you have actually met someone he didn't know before Friday night? Ah, perfect. Excellent. That's one of the purpose of Startup Weekend, right? It's all about collaboration, meeting people, and to work together. So, excellent. So, Nicolas, I give you the mic.
1, 2. Is the mic mandatory? If I speak very loudly? No. Okay. Okay.
Are you ready?
Never. No, yeah.
Okay. Guys, ladies, are you ready? Yeah! Let's go.
Hello, I'm Nicolas, and I'm going to present you. If I were office manager, we help people optimize their office utilities. Sorry. So, as an office manager, we have we have multiple problems. So, for instance, you have multiple utility providers. Utility is all the electricity, gas, printer, coffee, and so on. And you have no helicopter view of all these spendings. So you have no point of comparison, and you do not know if you're doing good or poorly. From there, you also have to check regularly the best deals, and it's pretty time consuming. So there is a lot of problems that we need to solve for these office managers. When I say office managers, it's on the broad sense. For instance, here, you do not have to take office manager, just people managing a small office. We talk also to Nicolas Cordier, managing all the buildings of the UCL, so Université Catholique de Louvain, and he told us that they definitely need a solution for helicopter view and to manage all the spendings, expenses, and all the utility problems. So, here comes if I were an office manager. We provide just, the value proposition is simple. We provide benchmark and perspective to take better decisions while managing offices. So, our 3 services. First one, it's we provide the KPI, the benchmark, and actionable recommendation to improve the way you manage your offices. Second, we provide a constant watch to be sure that your insurance fee is at the best price at every time. And third, we propose group deals because we have a lot of customers, and these customers together can negotiate with energy provider or insurance provider to collect better deals. So the business model is pretty straightforward. It's free for office managers, and we take a cut on the money spared by these office managers. How we continuously improve our advices, our recommendation. It's just because we ask to our customer, we talk with them through 2 methods. One is a chatbot, for very straightforward information. And second is phone calls, just to be sure that we understood everything pretty clearly and that we are really answering a pain and addressing the pain. Second way to improve our recommendation is that we are using benchmarks from existing database, and we improve our database with the collected data from customers. At the moment, today's solutions are not exhaustive, expensive, and biased. So, for instance, up from NG. Our team the team that created If I Were Office Manager, we are 5 people. 2 of them are technical, 3 others are business-minded people, and that's why we talked to a lot of customers yesterday, and that we proved that they had a need. So, in 54 hours, we created a chatbot, we created a website, and a database. So, live demo of the chatbot done by Cedric there at the end of the room. And so, yeah. Here you can see that we are interacting. He's going to, he's providing it's already started, so he's providing his number. You see that there is an interaction. How many people can you host in your space? He's answering, sorry for Facebook. And then, okay, you have answer. You can already have value just by the interaction with the chatbot, but it's going to be completed by interaction with a real human that is going to confirm and to provide real advices and recommendation. To finish up this presentation, that's the website. So it's clean, professional, and you can see that people can trust. We have recommendation from the customer we talked to, so we have social proof, we have the process, and so people can start just by going there and start now.
And thank you!
So, jury members, do you have any question?
Is there any automation in providing the advices, or there is always like an analysis done by someone? And so basically you get the need, you get the current situation of the client, you have actually the data coming from somewhere, and then you have the interaction in between. It's a human, isn't it?
So you're going to have two kinds of advices. One is automated, because we have all data and we can benchmark them with all the average, and if they are above average or below average, we are going to provide them information. And the other one is really an in-depth analysis done by human to be sure that we have not just the bias of data, because data are partial, and we can improve with human. Okay?
Another question? Yes.
Would you just clarify a bit about the business model? So you just said they will be free for the office managers, and you'll take a stake of the money saved. How that will work just a bit more? So you'll take a percentage, and how will you actually? What is the time frame that you will take into account?
So basically, all that has to be tested on the market, but we have three solutions that we think could be interesting. First is the commission, because we provide leads to internet providers, for instance, and they are going to pay for that, for these leads, or to all the energy providers, and so on. But also we have the constant watch, and for this watch, the office manager are ready to pay a cut directly of the money they are going to spare, and as they are doing it annually at the moment, I think that 12 months would be a good cut to take into account, because it's pretty aligned with what they are currently doing. And the third one is just to, sorry, constant watch. Help me, team. What is the third business model? For the group deals. And so that's pretty much the commission that would have been taken by for instance, the energy provider consultant.
Okay, last question. Yep.
Well, I understood actually that you're dealing with utility bills, but there are other costs actually that you're reducing. And second question is, what are the tools existing on the market for the moment for such clients to compare actually existing price on the market?
Thank you, and sorry. So the other cost that we tend to reduce, it's definitely the thing that, okay, outside of energy, you also have the insurance, but all the printers, the deals with one specific printer or one specific coffee provider, or with one guy with even the furnitures, like is it improved, is it optimized the way you lease the furnitures that you are having into your office if you are leasing something. So that's for the first question. For the second, okay. NG, for instance, is providing a pretty straightforward overview, but based only onto the energy side with improving the heating system and so on. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Nice. Thank you. Excellent. I welcome the next team.
You will start. You let me know when I can start. You are counting? You can start. Okay. Because they're still writing down. Okay. Hello, everyone. I would like to ask you a question. What do you think is the currency of the future? We don't have a lot of time to answer it, so I will give you the answer straight away. Well, basically, data is the new currency, and a lot of companies know that. That's why we get all these annoying pop-ups that we have to approve, even though we know nothing about what's behind it, and we feel not in control because we don't know what we can do about it. So basically, this violates trust between consumers and companies, and it's a big problem because especially smaller companies, they don't know how to deal with it, and they want to be GDPR compliant, but they still want to have the competitive advantage of the use of the data. And with our big scandals like Facebook, we have all seen Mark Zuckerberg and Cambridge Analytica. If you haven't watched the documentary, go ahead. So it's effectively a very big problem for companies, especially for smaller ones. And yeah, what we would like to do, and we were reflecting this weekend, is how can we restore trust between consumers and companies and ensure that there's a healthy data exchange. So basically, that's why we are here. So we are DataPlug, and we would like to bring transparency and trust between companies and consumers on the use of the data. And the highlight is that we don't store any of this data. So we are true to our mission. We are basically like the trust pilot for data usage, or like the fair trade label for companies, basically. So let me show you a demo. So we have effectively a working website where you can go and read all the details about us. You can try the demo yourself directly. So let's imagine you want to buy something online, right? So you want to see which cookies and personal data is used by this company. You have installed the DataPlug plugin. You click on it. DataPlug is going to check real-time that website. So it's going to query on the back end of that website for data that are there, and it's going to give you a short summary about what's there. So you have in one easy way what's happening on the website, and if you want more details, you can go on the search results, where the data is classified per type of data, and you can see potential risks. For example, data that could be used for bad purposes like your sexual orientation, political beliefs, or religion. That's basically how our demo works. So basically, as you have seen, we have added value both for consumers and companies, because for companies, we offer automation of the back end when there's a service data request about what data are you using on me. we can provide this information easily through our automated plugin. We also help consumers use this easily and it's transparent. And we also provide some kind of compliance for companies because we have the fair data label, so the companies can restore the trust again back to their consumers. So we want to become the #1 reference point for fair data usage in the world, because we asked these 3 big companies about our data and nobody was able to give it to us. And if these 3 companies cannot give it to us, smaller ones can for sure not. We have 4 confirmed customers, from which 1 is in the room. So we have an effective, validated business. And our business model basically is for individuals and companies. Mainly it's the companies that will pay. Individuals are going to get a free plugin, and if they want some advanced reporting or recommendations about how they can improve the use of their data, they can pay for the feature. Companies are going to pay based on a subscription fee. And they are also going to have the option, if they want to be certified as a fair data company, they will be able to buy the certification, and eventually we can provide consultancy fees and auditing. So the go-to-market, basically we focused on SMEs because these are the most challenging companies to deal with this kind of problems. And our target sectors are sectors that are dealing with sensitive user data like insurance, human resources, healthcare, e-commerce. And basically our strategy is we want to make as many users use and install the plugin because we want to bombard, obviously, companies with the plugin and make them install it. So we are going to give a lot of benefits to users for that. And for companies, we want to grow our customer and partnership base, basically by collaborating with some big web shops, which are going to make our early adopters, and we're going to give them benefits for that. And they're going to be seen as good companies because they practice ethical data. And basically, we have all the skills in place. So we have teams from design, data literacy. We are 4 humans and 1 dog. So I think you cannot get a more multivariate team than us. So yeah, I would like to thank you for your attention, and if there are any questions, please shoot. It's not GDPR compliant, huh?
Go back to one of the slides with your value.
Yeah, okay. Do I need to smile or like? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so during Edward, do you have questions?
Well, how exactly it works? How do you plug actually between customer and well, are you the data is transiting through you, or the data is going to the company and then you're plugged to the company to get the analytics? How does it work exactly?
Sort of plugin, a bit like Google Analytics and other companies are using, like Hotjar. Basically, they have a small JavaScript code which you can add on your website, and this will communicate with an API real time to fetch the data. That's going to be more difficult for custom systems, but basically 30% of the websites in the world are based on WordPress. So if we make a WordPress plugin, we can solve 1 out of the 3 cases. And especially for small and medium enterprises, that's mostly the case because it's not their core business to work with data. So that is, I don't know. Yes, so basically the user sees the plugin, and the moment that he generates the plugin, we make a call on the web server. It's a technical thing, but we make a real call on the server. That via an API is going to get the data from the back end of the company, and then it's going to generate it in the system. So that's the idea. I don't know if it answers the question.
All right, is there any other question? Yeah?
I don't know if I missed it, but maybe we didn't touch upon much of the competitors, or what's the state of the art, if you can just briefly tell us a bit.
So we looked around for competitors, and there are a lot of similar products, but they are mainly in the business of blocking the tracking information, like ad blocker, Ghost3, I don't know if you know it, also a web browser, Brave, but they mainly prevent the problem. But the thing is, when you have created an account or you're buying, it's already too late, so you cannot prevent the data usage, so you still perhaps want to see, and that's basically the main competitors, but they are not doing exactly the same. So the concept we are doing is exactly unique. The only potential risk could be that antivirus companies because they have this kind of intelligence, let's say, they could penetrate the market if we are not fast enough to be the first ones.
To make sure that we have a good understanding of your value proposition, what is your mission statement or your mantra in one word, in one sentence?
We want to make data safe and fair, and basically let consumers have trust in the data being used from them in the companies. We really believe in social impact of data, and we want to make sure that people are safe with it. I took more than one sentence, but yeah. Fair data, basically.
Another question? Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, the next team to connect the computer. At the same time, I will check them to find back the Wi-Fi password. All right. So the jury members are writing down the comments. As you know, we added a fourth criteria, which is big data. And mainly because the theme is big data, it's a way for you to point the fact that the project is linked to the big data topic. So we have seen two projects. The third one is going to present. So we'll be ready very soon.
We're going to give a very unusual 30 seconds break for you. Because we want the television team to leave the room, because otherwise they're going to disturb your pitch.
Oh, that's fine.
So we're going to be... So we've been... The live television is over, so there's a little bit less pressure now.
Oh, that's fine.
We still ask you to stay within these post-its, because that way our cameras are running and the rest of the world is looking at you. There's actually a YouTube channel. Sorry, it's live. This is live streamed. If you look on Twitter and you go to the SW Bru BD, you'll find the hyperlink to the YouTube channel on which this is streamed right now. So the live TV is gone, but the live stream is still on. Don't forget this, everybody. Whatever you say can and will be used against you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
My grandparents are watching. My grandparents are watching, so...
Your grandparents are watching. Whoa, now things are getting stressful. Very good, very good. So the hashtag for tonight is Startup Weekend. So SW, Bru for Brussels, BRU, and then BD for Big Data, not for BD, the strips. We let the children read those while we're busy here, right? Okay, so I see the TV team is almost ready. I think are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, you know what? Perfect fit, perfect timing. Go ahead and rock.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Hi everyone, we are Perfect Fit and we want to fix the biggest issue people face when shopping online. We've all been here. We open online shop, we start looking for new outfits. We find a nice jacket we like, we choose the right color, and then we get here, the sizing nightmare. Am I M? Am I L? Used to be M. Is it too much? Now I got L. What is right? Let's get more info. Big tables with useless data that means nothing and no one knows their measurements. You know what? Forget that. I'm gonna get an L size and hope it fits. So I order it, I wait at home, I get my parcel, I open it, I'm excited, I try it, and it's too small. I go fatter, it's too small. I go to the post office, I repack it, I put the papers on, I send it, I wait for the money back, I reorder it. It's a nightmare. I hate this, you all hate this, and everyone hates it. We went on the streets and we asked people, what's the biggest issue you face when buying online? Sizing. Sizing is the biggest issue. And we're gonna fix this. How? With Perfect Fit. With our standard 3 steps process, scan, measure, and shop, we're gonna revolutionize the way we shop online. Very simply, through our app, and with technology that already exists, we're gonna measure the body and obtain an extensive list of measurements that we're gonna use. After, we're gonna take your account with your value and compare it with that data you didn't know what it was. But now we do. We do it for you. And then we give you your best recommendation. Additionally, Since the data we get is available on our website, ready to use, we can apply our system on as many websites as we want without the need of any partnership, agreements, or contracts. Let's talk about the real advantages. For our users, first of all, they're gonna get a much better online user experience. Additionally, no more of those annoying and useless trips to the post office we all hate so much. What about retailers? Are they gonna like the idea? They will. Because when people buy online, very often they get multiple sizes and send them back. So that means that for retailers, fewer returns, less money wasted on logistic, repackaging, and warehouse management, and more money for other things. And of course, very important to me personally, better environmental impact. Less packaging material, less cardboard around the world. Let's talk about business. In the beginning, we want to build something easy to use and that people love. We're gonna start by building a free browser extension for Chrome and Safari, where people can go on any website, tap the plugin, and get the best size. This, of course, is gonna only make revenue through the use of data exploitation and through marketing in the app. Once we get a big user base, we want to go to big brands, let's say Zara, H&M, and do partnership with them, because they got data, very precise data that we cannot access. And to build an even better solution, we want to partner with them and build something that customers are gonna love even more. A fully implemented solution into their website. To do this, we need contracts though. And in that case, the revenue will come from monthly fees and per click revenues. But that's not all. What I spoke about up to now is fit me. Imagine being a big airline company. You've got to buy uniform for people all over the world. If sizing looks bad, your people look bad, your company looks bad. People can very easily, from the app, send the details of the sizes to the company, so the company can get them from wherever they're in the world, the best uniform to make the brand look always on point. Data is at the center of our product. We want to get data with customer, with their support in a good way to help our companies and retailers like Zara and so on build a better operation based around precise dimensions. We have an amazing team, people with many different skills, and this is really all we need to make a great product, and I've been very happy to work with these people. And now I'm going to show you a quick demo of the product. So here, our landing page. Once again, 3 steps, and now time to go shopping. So we actually built for now our plugin into a live H&M website. And here I'm going to find my size. And my size, there it is, XL. But now we don't want to push sales when people don't need sales. So if something does not fit your body shape, because they're all different, we will tell you. This model does not fit your morphology. We're going to be honest with you and open to you. And this is how we're going to fix once and for all the nightmare that online fashion sales are. Thank you.
Thanks. So, jury members, do you have questions? Yes.
For the business model, you said for the retailers that there is a per-click revenues. What does it mean? For the business model, there was written per-click revenues. For the retailers, what does it mean?
Right. This plugin, as you see, well, the first thing we're going to develop is a very simple extension on, let's say, Chrome. That's free to use, but the precision is limited. However, companies, when the manufacturer close, they've got tons of dimension, and those values are not given to the public. Okay, if you partner with them, you can build a better solution, fully implemented into their web shops, and for that one, they will pay first of all a monthly fee, and then to guarantee that our product will be used and people do want it, every time someone clicks it, we get extra commission on top to prove them that like we get paid if we actually deliver.
Another question? Yes.
So if I understand well, first part of your product is the plugin.
Yeah.
That you have the data actually coming from the size that you have taken somehow, and then you fetch the data from the website. Yeah. Well, not connecting via API or something. So first part actually, how did you do it? Is one single time in which you take the size with the customer once, or every time at every buy-in or every e-commerce experience? How do you do it?
Well, you've got your account, okay. Well, first of all, since everyone can easily measure themselves without needing to be a tailor and having past experience, you can measure yourself how many times you want at home with a mirror, with a camera, with a friend. It's very easy to do. Then if your body is changing, if you're getting pregnant, or something else is happening, or kids that are growing, perhaps, you can do it as often as you want. Now, the plugin will be linked to your account, and your account will have your dimensions. So wherever you go in any store, you always bring with you.
Okay, one more question. Yes.
So during the past few years, a lot of startups tried to do the same thing, and they all failed. And do you know why? And why would you success with your idea?
Well, many startups went straight to getting big partnership. But you cannot go to Zara, knock at the door with 2-3 guys like us, and be like, let's work together. I'm not going to trust you. We really want to build something free that we can do very simply, because extensions are quite easy to implement. Get a user base, improve it, bootstrap, get it like really up to standards. Get a user base and go knock at those doors with big brands supporting us with a big user base. That's a big difference between us and the rest, I believe.
All right, one last question. Yes.
I believe there is a problem actually in acquiring every product is the enrollment, so when I should start. So you started your pitch saying that there was a difficulty analyzing all the data, and then you would like to use the customer, measure themselves, and put in like a lot of data. I don't know actually if they can find the match between the measurement they take and the values that you ask them to enter, especially. So basically, me as a customer, I need actually to enter a certain number of parameters of my body. So basically, I should understand your experience and where I should fill everything, especially if it's not automatic.
Take a picture, okay? You take a picture of yourself with the camera up, and the app automatically gets all the videos you need. For you, it's a very simple experience. Just 2 pictures, side, front, left. You go shopping, and I hope it was clear, I'm sorry, perhaps over there, but it's very, very simple to use. The technology exists, it's pre-built, people are using it, and for purposes, not in this precise application.
Okay, thank you. Thumbs up. Okay, so the next team is going on stage. Here you have.
Yes, thank you. So we are very excited to present you our baby Semantic today. So the goal of it is to take control of your online visibility. And let's start with a typical customer, so MediMarket. So as every company today, MediMarket has to address an issue about its visibility, their visibility online. So they need to be good positioned on the Google results to be visible and finally generate revenues. So it's something really important to them. And that's why they decided to hire someone to deal with their digital strategy, digital visibility, Floriane. Floriane is acquisition manager, but she's facing a lot of problems, as you can see. The first problem is that she has not enough time to manage all the activities that she has to coordinate in terms of digital. So she has to coordinate SEO and talk to a lot of interlocutors, so it's complicated for her. The second element that is complicated, it's the existing softwares. The tools are very complex and so not really actionable for the moment. A third element is that she has to show and demonstrate the results of SEO, and it's not an easy part, so she doesn't find anything that helps her in that way. And finally, she wants the best return on investment for that with the budget she is allowed to have. So for that, she needs to be sure that it's ROI focused, and it's not always easy. So our solution for that is that we have developed an app and a semantic implementation consultant. Typically, we have three main services. We provide actionable recommendations based on 4 different data sources. It's important. And so it will be very, very easy to implement them. The second feature is that we automatically dispatch, I will do it Yeah, automatically dispatch the task to the right person. So in terms of coordination, it's really more practical. She can follow up on the recommendations and be very quick in their allocation. And finally, the last feature is that we can track the changes that are implemented following the recommendations. We can directly see the impact and see that it's motivating because it evolves and there is really a power behind each action that is taken. So how does it work? We have here an MVP in video, so we can see that we at Semactic, first we will help you implement, so we will help the company to choose the right keywords for the business and to help in the categorization of these keywords. Based on that, we will provide the right recommendations, actionable recommendations, and the company can select the ones that she wants to implement. Then the company can see the overall overview of the global visibility and see specifically for each keyword the ranking and the visibility. If the company wants to see the specific results and impact of the recommendations that they have implemented, they can follow up on this with that tool and see, okay, with that recommendation, I had that specific impact in terms of visibility, traffic, and finally revenue. So that's really efficient and powerful. And why do we do that kind of things?
Let me show you our great team. So together we have a very good experience in digital marketing, but also in web development and in predictive analytics, which are crucial to develop this kind of project. Regarding the distribution channels, it's very important, obviously, to be on Google with ads on Facebook and so on, or to attend some SEO event. But it's quite classical. We want something different, more specific, and we want to send a physical demo pack directly from a personal way to the digital manager of each of our targeted companies. So that's something our competitors are not doing. In the first time, we would focus only on the business pack, which include the implementation and a monthly fee of €499. So it's for a very nice SME for the moment. And in a second step, we would enlarge it with the Pro feature for smaller companies and the custom prices for larger companies or agencies. When we compare to existing tools, we can see we have more or less the same kind of pricing, but actually we are offering much more value with the actionable recommendations that are already prepared and tracked directly. For the roadmap, we would like to get 4 T clients after the first year to generate enough revenue to be fully invested in the project together. And after, we would like to test our new segment with the smaller company and the agencies, and to raise money to go on international. And the good news is that we already have 3 clients, 3 happy clients, so it was difficult to find them, but we managed to do it. Thank you.
All right, so jury members, do you have questions? Yeah.
So I have 2 questions. First one is, can you again say your mission statement? And second one is, your tool is fully automated?
Maybe regarding the second question, yes, it's fully automated, but you can have the control. So either you choose to ask the tool to automatically ask the person in charge of the different expertise to implement the recommendation, if you really trust it. But before that, you can you choose yourself if you want to send the recommendation directly to one person or another. And regarding your first question, yeah, so the mission statement is that we really want to improve the way people can gain visibility and automate the way they can do it, because for the moment there are a lot of loss of time and we see it every day because we are working in a digital agency. So that's a problem all the clients are always reporting to us.
I mean, building on that question, I've seen on the competitors analysis that you have done that depending on the state, depending on the type of customers, you have different competitors. You have like 1 and then 2 and so on. And in the table, I've seen that you you're telling us that you're better than them in return on investment and also quality. I just wanted to know how you assessed that a little bit, and especially for the quality, if you meant that you're grouping the data by keywords, if that's my understanding.
Yes, so there are 2 points, but the first one is that we are using, our competitors are each time getting one source of data and then showing a report. And so if you are using some competitors too, you will see sometimes 20 reports, sometimes 30 reports, very difficult to interpret, and especially if you are not an SEO specialist, for example. So the difference with our tool is that we gather all the sources in one single database, and we use an algorithm to understand what are the different signals and how we should use them to make recommendation. So that, for example, if a keyword is not interesting, even if it's easy to position on it and so on, you will not get the recommendation to be on it.
One more, yes.
Does the idea or part of the project exist before the hackathon, or it started only on the hackathon?
So yeah, we had the idea just before it, but we were looking for a web developer, and actually it's only now that we really managed to get the business model fixed, because we had some problems actually to happen to
Yeah, and finally the project has really totally evolved here during the weekend, because we were more like, we want to develop a tool, and finally it's still a tool, but it's really more focused on the project management, from a project management point of view. You know, it's not a new tool, it's really something different with a different approach based on a real SEO strategy approach, you know, where it should be done properly and with a really concrete result. So it has been very different.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Oops.
Please do not try to disconnect the computer of your team. Sabotage. That's for actually another. So that was team number 4. Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Michiel from Instant Data, I've been working in consultancy for about 15 years, and I've been in so many companies, and almost all of them, all these big companies, they have the same problem. Like, they take wrong decisions based on outdated data, and that results in customers that go away, revenue loss. Why is that? Because they have so many different applications. So they have an application where they manage the products the customer have, they manage where the complaints are filed, they manage the billing in a separate application. They have all these machine learning models producing data. Of course, in the end, everything in the reporting environment, everything arrives there, but it's usually like 1 day later. So what's the biggest issue? Actually, these companies, they cannot build a real-time view on all of their data. And that's the time when actually it's something interesting happening. So a lot of these companies are trying to build it themselves, but it's like very expensive. They need to hire technical experts. It pays the bills, of course, but so it's very expensive. So what we want to do with instant data, we want to help companies build these real-time applications. I will show you a demo.
So this is our application. So basically, what we want you to do, we want you to be able to add all your data sources. So it could be like some Oracle database, could be some big data database. And with that, we will look at all of them and we will sample some data and we will like look what is the data model used, you know. So we will know how all the data is connected. And over all of these different data sources, we will look at these common elements, like you have a customer number, a product ID. So that way you're able to link all your data together. So, but now the most important part is actually, we will create also this type, a type of business context. So this will contain all the data that you need to take a real-time decision. So whenever there is any change in this model, it will actually create a new version of that event so you can take a new decision and update it with the latest information immediately. So that's our demo. So according Gartner, the streaming analytics market, it's in 2024 it will be $29 billion. We just want a small part of that. So, so of course there are big competitors in our space. So there is, of course, you have Talent, Informatica, Avantic, but we want to be special. We want to be build a product that is made for the people that know the data, not technical experts. And we also want to put a standardized product. So you're not able to customize too many things, but that makes it easy to deploy and not so expensive. So we have a very diverse team. We have, of course, technical people. We have people in sales and growth and marketing. And together we want to make this a success. So we're currently talking to 2 customers. So one of them is able to save 500K per year with our product. So like our plan is now to go to market. We want to build as a beta version together with these 2 customers. And we are aiming to get 100K for that. So we will be hiring 2 developers. So that's why we have 100K costs. So after that, we want to grow locally. And we want to grow locally. So in the Western market, and we want to upstaff with a bit of sales and developers. And after that, we want to go international. So here we're looking for maybe someone who has the network, who knows our products, who knows our industry, can help us grow. So we're looking for someone, maybe an investor, that is interested to work with us. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thanks. Thank you. So, jury members, do you have questions? Yes. Okay.
Honestly, I understand part of the problem, which is actually a lot of data sources in the company that are not linked, that in general are in batch. I experience that every day, then not connected. So the problem, I understood it. But honestly, I didn't understand the value proposition. How you or your tool will connect to the data, which is private for the company, that will trust you, give you the data, you're going to handle it somehow, and then build semantic out of it. I didn't get that relationship or that link.
You mean where the data is gathered together? The value proposition,
the gross data from the company.
The value proposition. Okay. The value proposition is that you give a real-time unified view on your data, so you can take actions immediately instead too late when, for example, your customer is already gone away or your customer has done something else. So for example, what happens in a lot of industries is you buy a product on their website and then you call their customer service because you have some questions, but they are not aware about the products you just ordered. So they are like immediately trying to sell you the same product that you just bought. But there are plenty of things maybe in real time. It could be fraud that is happening and you need some data to detect it on time that is just at that moment. So there is plenty of use cases where there is real-time analytics. Yes. Yes. So this is just basically technically it works like that. So there is a transaction log of every database so that we are monitoring, and we will get all the change data events, and we'll ingest them, and we join them together in as a real-time query. Actually, that's how it works.
All right, another question? Yes.
Concerning the business model, how do you make money with your app?
Basically, it's licenses and services. So in the beginning, it will be mostly services based, of course, because we know a few customers and we will work directly with them. But of course, we want to, after that, move over to a licenses model, and we want to focus on our product instead of services. So when we grow internationally, we want to work together with consultancy companies that implement our products at our customers instead of having to go directly to all these customers.
Well, most of the companies have a BI tool actually to which they connect their databases and that they use for decision taking. What does your tool or your solution bring, more than the business intelligence tool that the companies implement?
We are more about collecting all the data in real time and letting you react on a streaming way. So the data, when the change happens, take action immediately. That's our focus. So we are not really about reporting. These tools will still stay there, and they will continue to exist. It's about real-time analytics. Think about Facebook, how they can make their feed with all the latest events. That's really happening in real time. So they know what your friends are watching at that point of time. It's very complicated.
A last question? Yep.
Regarding your internationalization plan, you said that you have already two type of customers, like interest. Are these coming from the same sector? Are you thinking of applying this? I guess you would have firstly to go by size, so maybe bigger companies. That's my understanding. Does geographical location have an impact on that? Because I've seen you want to focus here. And if sector, like will you start by a specific sector?
Yes, we don't really care about the industry. We are interested in any industry that wants to work with us, but now we're looking at energy and telco. Also, the location doesn't matter for us, but obviously we are now Belgium-based. So, but of course, if you find an interesting customer, we want to work with them. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so next team, it's your turn. Just to check that you are team number 6. All right, perfect. Excellent. Stage is yours. 5 minutes.
Hello, bonsoir, hola. We are Savit, and we are talk about the problem that we found. The problem that we found is the lacking of ways, easy ways to manage the savings and the investments of the people, of a person. And we also found out that this market, for instance, these solutions, these things that we are looking for are very interesting. And let me explain you why. First of all, the solution and the validation of that solution give us answers, for instance, that a lot of people are trying to have better tools to get their savings and investments in a better way. We also found out that, for instance, this platform that is going to be our solution is going to be the best way to cover this problem. How? Well, this is a platform that will allow to the user to have an investment or a saving by doing payments. So that's incredibly good if you can think about that. Our target market is European, is also willing and desiring to get better forecast in their investments and savings. Our competition is not good. They are not really good. We are doing it better because, let me explain you why. We have, like we can accept a lot of different transactions, and they are not doing that. And we also have a future of gamification. We are going to explain that in a few minutes. And also, let me explain you the validation of this idea. Just that 66% of the people that we sent the survey told us that they want that solution in the market.
So now, before showing you the MVP, something that also differentiates us with the customers, the competition, is that they have prepaid debit card, where we are not going to have that. We are going to connect it with your current bank accounts, and you can have everything that you already have and trying to manage through that way with the banks. So basically here in the MVP, you can see the bank accounts that you already have, all the transactions that actually you are doing. For example, you buy something next key, but our solution is going to have two options. Either you want to round up, that's going to be a smooth saving, or you want to be deducted with a percentage of the amount that you pay. So keeping with the example of the MVP, you can see all these savings, the current account that you will have, and also you will see some overview of all the savings that you are having while you continue spending actually. We're going to have features that you can create outlines, you can create cities, you can create whatever you want while you're saving by buying tokens inside the app. And also we can have the feature of making partnerships with all the clients and some business in order to trying to also create a more responsible consumption of the consumers. So we're trying to balance this thing between spending and actually saving. So our revenue model is going to be based in 3 streams. The first one, it's going to be the memberships. The second one, it's going to be the investment commissions, because something that I already forgot to mention is that all the small savings that the clients are going to have, we're going to send them to the ETFs. This is basically something pretty kind of simple to apply. We already have some advice about that. And the third stream is going to be the data, the ads, and the partnership that we in the future can make. So we planning to have some financial forecast, and we try to manage that. In the third year, we're going to have a positive cash flow if we try to have 12,000 subscribers. Then in the fifth year, we can try to have 50,000 subscribers, and the objectives of the company. And well, in the meantime, the big data proportion and the importance of big data in the future will come up with the time while we have more ushers. So basically, we want to encourage through our team that you spend money and at the same time take care of your future. Thank you. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So, jury members, do you have questions? Yes, Julie.
Can you explain again the value proposition of your app? I didn't really understand.
Yeah. Well, basically, is by all the payments that you are doing throughout the day, you can get an amount of those into investments, into savings. So basically, if you buy, for instance, 1 bottle of water, then one part of that payment, that payment is going to be in the app, and it's going to be a saving or an investment, in order that you can actually saving when you are like paying things, and that's something very incredible, I would say.
What we want to try is to make easier access to savings and financial tools with the resources that the customers already have. So we are not planning to have prepaid debit cards that you have to spend time and money in order to wait for the shipping of the card and all. So you can actually continue with your habits of spending with your current debit cards, and actually trying to change something about your consumption by at least saving a small amounts of money. That's basically that.
All right, another question? Okay. Yes.
How about partnerships? How you are going to plan the partnerships for the companies that will be part of the project, I guess, right? So I've seen, for example, that when you were doing the demo, sorry, this is not yet in your list. So how are you going to start populating that?
Yeah, what we're planning is that if we doesn't have enough partnerships, actually the customers are the ones that are going to help us with that. So for example, if so many people go to Xkey and we doesn't have yet the partnership with them, we can manage that the own customers help us to go with Xkey and say like, hey, we have like here 5,000 customers that wants to us to make a partnership, so go ahead, basically.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, I understand actually the idea because I've already seen someone or actually another event like this in which we attacked, like BNP, in which this has been proposed. So it's an amazing idea. How can you save without noticing? This is your purpose, isn't it? Without noticing, actually. You save actually without taking in action. Someone is saving on your behalf. You buy something at 45 cents. We round it to 50 cents, and we save you 5 cents. This is your model. Is that correct? Yeah.
We can manage to have different saving options. If you want to be more aggressive in your savings, we can not round up, but discount a percentage of the amount that you pay.
Okay. Okay. So basically, at every transaction that you do, a small part actually is going to save in. Because I don't want to talk about investment. What I've noticed actually is, well, there is first the technical problem how we can do it. Because the chain payment is very complex. Is basically, I've seen it at a bank. They have the ability to do it because actually they control the payment tool. My question is, well, we're going to limit it to every transaction, you collect part, and then we see where you put it. How will you do that? Because it's very complex in terms of payments. How you will do it? Will you create like a wallet? Will you have a card? Will you partner with, well, technically how you're thinking about doing it?
And you're going to have 25 seconds.
There's something in the law that it's really early that's called PSD2. That's basically, you will be able to actually manage the transactions and the information of the customers of the banks after the customers gives you the permission. So basically we can manage, we're not retaining the money, we are just sending orders. Once the validation of the transaction happens, we're gonna do this reduction and we're gonna send it to the investment partnership. So we're not gonna retain any money in order to avoid any risk.
And thank you.
Thank you. And now is the time where we're going to welcome the last but not least team in last but not least. Yeah. Team Investi, right? So just waiting so the jury members are ready. Okay, so for the last pitch, but not least, of this Startup Weekend Brussels Big Data Edition. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready, guys? Yes. Okay, let's go.
Okay, thank you very much. So today I'm going to be presenting Investi. The team that created this is myself, I'm from Colombia, Arjan, who is from the Netherlands, and Stefan, who is from Tunisia. So we began this on Friday. It's actually a project that was going to begin with hands-off investing. So basically users could invest money without noticing how it was being invested, not having to be stressed out by that. We worked on that until yesterday at 11:30 p.m. And then we noticed that what was going to be our minimum viable product was actually going to become our most valuable player in the entire business. So we decided to do an entire switch in our business model and focus on a personal finance teaching app. We began by surveying around 35 people from Belgium, and we discovered that 70% of the people surveyed want to use a personal finance app that teaches them how to invest. And 80% of the people we surveyed are not currently investing. They don't have stocks, they don't have ETFs, they don't have any type of bonds. So we asked them, why aren't you investing? 40% of them said that they just don't know how. So we dug a little bit deeper, and we started to analyze what was going on. Some of the conclusions that we came to is that people just don't know how to invest. There's no easy learning platforms. Some are too complex, some just aren't intuitive. And one of the key criteria that people recommended is that they want to know how to make sustainable investment, and that just isn't possible in other means. So we decided to pivot our idea a little bit, focus up on this new business opportunity, and revalidate our hypothesis and survey new people. We decided to survey by telling them that we wanted to create a personal finance teaching app. 87% of them said they were interested. 76% said they would actually invest and begin investing if they learned. And 55% of the people we surveyed said they were willing to become early users. So this is the opportunity that we're presenting today, is to become the Duolingo of personal finance. Basically create technical terms into very simple steps with bite-sized information that users can learn in very basic manners and later implement in other platforms. This is the market that exists currently for financial education on web-based platforms. You have Investopedia, which is complex information. It can get way too long. It doesn't really have a path that guides you. There are competitors such as My Wall Street and Investor, but they're not using so much of the Duolingo method. So we want to combine these two things and create Investi. We also want to give it a social aspect to it. So we're going to focus on users from the age of 18 to 35 that are what we call Greta lovers. So they're big fans of Greta Thunberg and are willing to learn and help the planet at the same time. So for every amount of questions that you answer correctly, you'll be helping somebody on the other side of the world that might need food or that needs to plant a tree. So basically our bite-sized information is explaining complex terms in repetitive manners using big data to help users have constant engagement. And we want to put high user engagement through gamification so that they can grow their seeds into big trees. This is the mock-up that we created for our app. And we basically the user can log in. Initially, he'll see what our progress is with all of our users. So he'll see, 1,000 trees planted this year so far, and 5 tons of CO2 removed. He'll see how much his experience is increasing by the bar on the tree. Basically, this app lets us teach people sustainable investing methods with ESG criteria, SRI, all of that, engage users through games. And the most crucial part is that there's no regulation in this. This is one of the big reasons to pivot, was no regulation, and it can be highly scalable. We can use big data for A/B testing and adaptive content. Finally, the revenue streams. We can make the app free. We'll provide revenue through ads, sponsored modules of other fintechs that want to teach their users how to invest, B2B with banks that want to have their users know better money management systems and decrease their default rates, in-app purchases, a free version of the app, and premium content. So, any questions?
Thank you.
All right, so jury members, do you have questions? Yes.
I didn't get the sustainable part of your app.
Basically, we want to create part social enterprise, so we can say that 20% of our profits are invested in social projects around the world. I remember when I was a child, we used to play computer games, and for every question that we answered correctly, UNESCO would donate a gram of rice to somebody in Malaysia or other Southeastern Asian countries. So that's something that we want to implement with our profits and with our ad revenue.
So it's not like awareness about companies who are taking actions into sustainable products and services. I mean, we know that if you invest on sustainable companies, the profits are more interesting nowadays. So it could be that. I was just thinking about that.
Another question? Yes.
How will the content of the teaching or the courses, if you call them courses, small courses like Duolingo, will be built? Your team actually going to write them, spend all the time to build all the content, or is it going to be something automatic?
Yeah, of course. What we've planned is to hire finance experts with learning consultants to really break down how these complex terms can be simplified for people that didn't study business or didn't study finance. As well, we can apply video animations to really help visual learners understand these types of concepts, equity, stocks, bonds, stuff that isn't very well known for non-business students.
Okay. Another question? Alice? All right, thank you guys. Thank you. Please have a seat, guys. You did it! Congratulations! So I will just ask you a few seconds to let the jury and myself and Tone to stand up and come to the judging room, and so we can deliberate together.
And while we deliberate, you get to eat. Yeah, right, so we don't lose, and you deserve this one, extra special. As you will see, you will really go home with extra weight. So whatever happens, your point of gravity will be lower than when you arrive there on Friday, yeah? Thank you all very much.